Hey guys, it's Vicky. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the brand new Powerwash update. Yes, that's right, we have yet another Powerwash update to look at. We have got 3 brand new bonus levels to do, so without further ado, let's take a look. Okay, so here we are in Powerwash Simulator. If you go ahead, go into career and bonus jobs. We have got 3 new levels here. We have got the satellite dish, the food truck, and the solar station. So let's see what they've got. Okay, so we have gone ahead and jumped into the satellite dish level. As you can see, we are out in the desert. There's all these little RV things, objects dotted around, but all we are concerned with is these 2 objects in front of us. The control room right here, and then the satellite. Now, as you can probably gauge, it's really quite large. There is a lot to do. This is the control room. It's quite an easy clean, just literally straight over the top. The bars aren't the easiest. You have to sort of go back and forward, but it's like a one swipe clean. Pretty straightforward. You've got to do this little guy as well down here, which is like the power. I know it's the cooling unit. There you go. And you get, yeah, a nice bright clean. Moving on to the main event. This is the satellite dish. Once you complete this and the control room, the level will be complete. It is covered in grime and sand. You have to give it quite a powerful clean. If you go too fast, you get a very, very uneven, sporadic clean. So you do have to take your time with this one. It is a bright blue and white colour when you finish. So as you can see there, missed quite a few bits. So it does take a sort of a double coat if you're not careful. So moving on, you've got this door unit to clean, a couple levels here. We've got to slowly work our way all the way up. So you have to go all the way around. This is very much like the, what was it called? The Helter Skelter. Very much like that level, although a different colour pattern. We've got to work our way up this metal ramp all the way up to this level where we've got like a water tank type object that you've got to clean. Again, not a straightforward clean for this one. Takes a few coats, especially if it's too high up or too far away. Then we've got 2 ladders here. We've got one around here that will take us onto the top. And then you have to get all the way around this object, which is not straightforward. You really have to utilise the second ladder, which will take us up through the hatch to really get the height on the underside of the satellite dish. When you come up to the top, we've got a white and blue colour palette again. If you take it all the way to the edge, we've got these rings of white and blue all the way down to the centre point. Got to clean that off, and then you've got these large poles to clean too, if you can stay on the beam, which apparently I can't. There we go. Oh, they're a bit slanted, so you have to take it easy. All the way up to the top where you can clean this white dish at the very top too. And then up to the top platform, which is the receiver. It's this shiny metal platform that needs cleaning as well. And then that, once you've cleaned the receiver, is the finished product. What we will do is I will show you guys all the levels, and then we will take a look at the finished pieces afterwards. So that is your satellite dish. Let's move on to the next level. So here we are at the second of our 3 new levels. This is the food truck. We are back out in the park. The park is where we cleaned our playground, and a few other type levels. In the woodland was the treehouse. Yeah, loads of levels have been featured with this sort of scenery. We've got a food truck here. Not too big a clean, 10, 15, 20 minute job. We've got a bright red and yellow colour for the food truck. They start you off with this white nozzle, which is not my fave. I tend to go for a yellow. And yeah, you just clean the food truck. You got a bit of graffiti to clean off too, but it's an easy clean. Reminds me a lot of the skate park level, this one. Bright colours, grime and graffiti everywhere. Once I did around the outside, all the way over to this side too, getting off all the graffiti. You also have to do inside the food truck. So it is covered in hot sauce, grease, mould, egg, oil, all sorts. So again, doesn't take too long, pretty easy, straightforward streaks. You can get out your cleaning products here for the grease and oil, but it's still a pretty straightforward clean. And it looks pretty cool when it's done. You've got to go all the way up to the door, to the driver's seat, all the way along the roof, and then you've also got a hatch and the roof to do, where you have to use your ladders. Get all the way up, do the top of the canopy, do all these signs, which takes a bit of time to get in and out of all the cracks. Back of the signs, the roof of the truck, and then this gigantic burger, which is actually the hardest bit to clean because you're so close. It's hard to get the distance and the right angle from it to get all the crevices in between the lettuce and the cheese and the bun and the patty itself. So that's the hardest bit, particularly when you come around to this side, because you just fall off when you try and get the right angle. And the ladder only gets you so far away. You've got to get in between like the ladder rungs. So yeah, that is the trickiest part, but you can also just climb on top. So that is the food truck. Let's take a look at the last level. The last level is the largest of the three, and it is the solar station. So we are back out in the desert, I'm assuming around the corner from the satellite dish, and we've got this solar system to clean. So sonar, what do I call it? Solar system, sonar system I think is the right one. Basically you've got all these solar panels and this big tank and this big solar panel over here. We're just out in the desert, there's nothing to even see on this one. Your van is over here, not that there is anything you'll need from it. You have to start right here. Start with your solar panels. They are a relatively complicated clean because they leave little bits and you have to get all the little bits up. So if I press tab here, you can see all these little dots that you sometimes miss. You have to get all the edging all the way around. So again, I use the yellow nozzle for this normally, but if you want a quick clean, you could go for white. Just make sure you pick up all the bits afterwards. Once you've done that, there are 5 other solar panels that you have to clean, 3 this side and 3 over here. Takes some time and it gets a bit repetitive, but you can always come back to them. Over here we have the inverter unit. You have to give this guy a thorough clean too. He is caked in quite a bit of rust, so you might want a powerful close-up nozzle for this guy. The solar station is the same color palette as the satellite dish, so we have these blues and whites and silvers to clean here. That is the inverter unit. You do need to get yourself on the roof. There are several ways you can do that. Jump up onto this guy and jump over and make sure you hit the roof, because I missed the roof when I did the control room on the satellite dish. Moving across to this enormously large structure, we have got a lot to clean here. This is caked in sand and grime and rust, and it is not an easy clean with the rust in the way. When you go over it, there are little bits that are always missed. Some bits are tougher than others, especially if you're too far away. that becomes a problem when you're higher up, because you can only put your ladders in so many places. These tubes are caked in grime and dirt too. Not the easiest things to clean, because you have to get round all of these nuts and bolts, get those bits right in the middle. The seams on these leave an indent, so you have to get right underneath to get the grime out of this indent here. And as I already said, it's caked on, so going over it a few times still doesn't work. So yeah, you have to really get off all this rust. You see how long it takes with this white nozzle, and you have to get around all of the nuts and bolts, and believe me, there's a lot. All of these beams that I'm focusing on right now have to be done, which means underneath and also the top side of them along this edge here, that you often will need a ladder for, or to look down. I find with these the easiest way, once you've managed to clean them off, which I have not, just doing that, is to jump on top. It takes a bit of practice, but you can just climb on top of the pipes to get the top side, to also get around this ring, and then to get on top of these beams, because they are all individual, these little seams here, and they will not click off until you've got every inch of the dirt off. Attached to the water tank, you've got loads of pipes and beams, but you've also got this standalone tower here. This is the pressure pump cylinder. You have to clean this thoroughly. The dirt is not as caked on in some parts. It's a bit of a quicker clean, as you can see, but you do have lots of grooves and indents to get into. And the problem with this one is how high it goes. You have to therefore utilize this ladder that you get. So in terms of movement, you get 3 pieces here. You've got the ladders, which unfortunately you can't use against the tank. They can only go in certain spots. So to climb up onto the top here a bit more easily and things like that. To reach the top and all the angles of this tower, you have to utilize this bad boy. But because he's so tall, he will only go in certain positions. So he will not lay over this pipe work, he will not sit underneath these pipes or around the other side. So you do have to get a bit creative there. When you head up, you've got like 5 levels to climb. If you want to reach the top, you can then start to get on top, get round and even jump onto it to get the angles that you need, as he will not sit this side or this side due to the pipe work. Then you can go up even further, 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floors, all the way up to the top of it, to be able to reach this top guy, which you can also get onto if you position it in the right place. Jump onto the side, then jump onto this top pole. You are high enough to jump on top if you position it close enough. Moving on, there is lots of pipe work over here to clean, for some of which I utilize this small one just to give me a boost to get on top of the pipe and to get all those angles. Also comes into play over here. So this is another large satellite dish. This is the solar canopy. It is a series of solar panels attached to one another, and then just metal work on the inside. You have to get all the edges of this, including all these little points and gaps along here, to be able to get it to tick off. And each panel is individual with an individual trim, which again has an indent, so you need to get right in the middle to get all these little bits out. Once you've done the top, you can attack the underside, which is decidedly more tricky due to the height angle. You can't climb on it, and this beam in the way, so you have to get all the different angles and scrub that grime off. I found it easier to use the stool to get a bit more height, to put more pressure on the power wash to get closer up. However, as I said, I utilize yellow for most of my cleans, so you can get a lot more pressure and precise movements. But again, have to get every indent and archway to get it to tick off. That is the underside. These beams were a nightmare due to all the nuts and bolts. You have to get every angle, which means the underside to get under all the screws and the compartments. It means each side to get around it all, and also on top, which proves a problem due to the height. So you have to time your jump and crouch to get all the angles and utilize your stool. But as you see, you can struggle to get close enough to get all the angles in. So have fun with that bit. Then we've got these huge pipes attached to the main tank. These are more pressure pump cylinders. Once you've attacked all that, there is only left the main body. To do that, we have to get the underside and in the grooves of all of these tubes, which is tricky because they're so high up. You can utilize your small stool for that, as the ladder does not let you place it under here. Once you clean the rail and climb up it, you've got all of this floor to get. Some of the grime is trickier than other bits, like right there was. You have to clean everything. That means all the poles too, the problem of which comes from when you try and do the outside, as there's nowhere to stand. Then you've got the massive tank, in remembering to do every beam. And then the trickiest part, which is the underside of the upper deck here, because of reaching the platform. Your nozzles are only so long and you can only get so high. So to get that edge under there is not the easiest part on the reverse sides, as you are all the way down at the ground and you can't see or get the pressure that you need to get in there. The solution to that was a combination of using the high platform around the edge, going up one floor on it, and using the long nozzle to reach. Once you've done the ground floor, complete the upper deck and then head up onto the top, where you have the lid for the water tank, which is quite a easy clean, as you can see. Make sure you get down, get all the way around the edging as well to be able to tick it off. There are quite a few layers to this. Once you've done that layer and the edge, this layer down to the edge, the next edge, including around every angle of these nuts and bolts, and then that edge leads all the way down to the side panel, and from there you are able to get on top of the pipes to do the highest part, which you can just about get to from there. So that is the solar station complete. So now I'll show you guys what it looks like when they're done. Okay, and there you have it. This is the completed food truck. This is what it looks like when the job is complete. Bright red and yellow inside, lovely and clean. Such a before and after shot, really. The back, got the Muck and Hamburger sign, and the front, there it is. So that is the food truck complete, and there you have it. That is the complete satellite dish level. We've got the control room here completely finished, plus the entire dish. It's got this blue and white colorway pattern that I was telling you guys about. If we just head up, this is the second level. Then when you head up the ladder, this is the top of the satellite dish. Again, it's got this same blue and white color pattern, and then you can go all the way to the top and see it is completely finished. Okay, it is the next day, but we have completed the solar station job as well. I can't lie, it's a big job. It's a big job, you know. This is pretty much what I've done for a day. It's taken multiple hours, but we got there. So you've obviously got these 6 solar panels on the ground. You've got the inverter unit over there to do. The whole thing has been done, the whole drum, what's it called? The whole water tank. All the levels. You got 3 ladders to climb to get to the top. We've done the top. Everything is done. All the pipe work and the massive mounted solar panel over here. This was a big job to do. Like, it's so large, such a large just sheet to clean. And then underneath was a nightmare with all the like nooks and crannies, and then all 4 of these arms attached to it that have 3 parts to them each. So yes, big job, but it is complete. This is the finished product. Again, it's got that same color palette of like the blue and the white. But that's it. There you have it. That is all the completed new levels. And that is the end of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.